Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to the Tokyo 600. It's one of your grinders. It's a 600 pp target. Nitrous is prohibited. It's a road car you've got to choose, and today the car we are taking is the Ford GT17 on sports hard tyres. Setup will be as follows. It's virtually all standard in terms of no adjustments made to the special parts. So fully customizable suspension, everything as default. The active LSD controller is probably adjusted, but I think that's pretty much standard. Everything's to the rear wheel, so it's a rear wheel drive car. Aerodynamics, front and rear, we've got low front splitter, we've got side skirts on, and we've got a rear valance, but we've got a low spoiler on the back, is correct. And everything is set to the maximum. Fully customized ECU on 81, ballast on 4, ballast positioning at -50, so that's all the way to the front. The power restrictor set to 70, fully customizable racing transmission on 330, no nitrous as we said, high turbocharger, anti-lag set to strong, intercooler on racing, everything else on racing, so air cleaner, silencer, exhaust manifold, brakes on the racing, slotted discs, you don't need the carbon one folks, you're just wasting money. Brake pads on racing, and we've got the brake balance controller, but it's currently set to 0. You can twist that and turn that as much as you like, play with it, see where you go. Racing clutch and flywheel is the only addition on the last page. We've added nothing here, but you can trade them off. Increased body rigidity, it's a no cost option folks. You can put that on and you can see what that gives you. I haven't used it because I think we can still run the race without it anyway. You could actually got a little bit of room here. You've got 11 points to play with there and some ballast. So if you think you need a bit more power, etc., or weight reduction, go for it, fill your boots. We'll see you at the track. So 12 lap race as it says there. Settings for us on the assist will be, we're on a manual transmission. We use the flappy paddle on the back of the steering wheel. Traction control 1, ABS default, ASM on, and counter steer assistance on strong. Don't diss the assists folks, they really do help. If you're struggling or you want an easier race, because that's what the grind's about, get them assists on and get them used. There's nothing snobbish about that at all. Controller settings, open button configuration for those who that bothers them. But because we're on a wheel, max torque feedback 5 and force feedback sensitivity 6. Nothing much to say here folks, let's give it a whirl, let's get to the race. So we've now got the brake balance controller, which we'll have a look at, but we've changed the gearing. We're going to see if we can get up into a rev range. Hopefully we won't run out of revs by the end of this straight, but we'll start to get past people. Up to 7th at the top of the hill, there we go. We're not going to get anywhere near 200, that much we do know. There's the first strike. She's not cornering. Let's see how we do. Fuel's back up to 5.3. We need that to be 6 laps. We need it to go halfway. Sneak past those bad boys there. Now with all my testing, what I don't expect is this car to be an absolute record breaker. It's a great drive, but it won't be a record breaker at this point. And I don't think the gearing's going to work. We're not going to have enough fuel. So, long, the short and the tall of it folks, not good enough. But I'm going to show you all this for once. I'm going to show you the working process of how we do it. Settings, car settings. I'm going to change the gearing to 330. And you're going to see how much of a difference that makes. So, back in. We're don't have to worry about tyres, folks. We're not going to change the tyres. We're going to one stop at the end of the 6th lap, pick up the draft here. And I'm 100% sure, oh, that's probably the clean race bonus gone already. Oh, unbelievable, Jeff. Up to 7th gear. We're in 12th place. We're not going to wall ride, folks. We don't do that. And we're going to hit the wall though. Holy poop. So look at the difference in fuel there. 5.6 now. We need to get round this lap. This car will slide round the corners. You just have to lift a bit, get the throttle back in. See how it likes to hunt and turn in? Well, that's great. We can manage that. Got up the inside of the Supra there. Going to chase down Mr. Beauvoir. Going to tap the brakes down to 4th. Back on the throttle early, get the car through there. We've just stabilised the car by changing down a gear. Going to trail brake into there, then back on the gas nice and early. 6.1 seconds behind the leaders. Just a tiny tap there. Put him into the wall. That's not a shame for Mr. Beauvoir. We've had our debates in the past and I've won that one. 6.6 seconds from the lead. Going to brake on round about the 175. Now what we don't know is if there's any big changes from update 1.35. We don't know. So up to 8th place, start the final straight. Pick up on the slipstream with 6.9 seconds behind the leaders. And we've got just under 5 laps. So at this point in time we're going to run out of fuel before we hit the finish line. Well, before we hit the pits. But we're just going to keep progressing with that. We're just going to see how we go. As we put the Subaru Mr. Miazano behind us. We're not sure who's in 4th place at this moment, so we'll just get to the top of the hill, change up to 7th. 177. Let's see if we can get into the 180 somethings. The braking point is going to be the bottom of the hill. We're purple sector, which is what we expected. Just had to back away from Mr. Blazen there. What I can tell you is this will be a good race. We're 9.5 seconds off the lead. Change up to 4th early. Want to see if we can grab back that little bit of fuel we're missing just by a short shift. Five seconds better than our previous lap time. And that 5 seconds is purely because we came through the start finish line and our timer for that lap started when we race started, not when we crossed the start finish line. So we just put Mr. Cookerbun into the same place as where Mr. Beauvoir ended up. 175 is where we're braking. And Mr. Cookerbun comes back down our inside, extremely disgruntled. I could have closed the door on him there, but he would have bunted us, and we don't want that. So we're I've lost 2 seconds through there, purely by having to stay wide. So fuel is on 4.1, we're 9.8 seconds in arrears. That's 2:17. Ideally for a fast car, we're looking for a 2:10. A 2:08 is an exceptionally quick car, and we've tested them. But what we're looking for is a car that's going to win us the race. Mr. Cookabun's in our sights again. We're going to brake at the bottom of the hill, or as close to the bottom of the hill as we want. A much better line through there. We're going to give Mr. Blazan a run for his money this lap. Tap of the brakes brings the nose in. Didn't quite come as much as we wanted it to then, but we're alright. Mr. Suswillow holds the fastest lap. We're going to try and take that from him. I don't think we'll get it this lap, especially with such a hard hit on the wall. The tyres are just starting to show scrub. We didn't have to change down that time. We were nice and quick through there. We'll change down here. Almost take a second off our fastest lap. Mr. Cookabun isn't quite as fired up this time as we glance off the wall again. We're going to brake slightly closer, maybe 165. And Mr. Cookabun is coming in again, but we're going to close that off. So 11 seconds off the lead, and we're 2 seconds up on our previous time. So that should see us at a 2:15, which would be nice. Anything in the 2:14s would be tremendous, but we need to keep knocking the time down. And we're going to have enough fuel now to get to the end of this stint. That's a 2:15, almost a 14. Up to 7th early, using the slipstream there. Past the Porsche. We might lose this place just as we go around the top bend. This car doesn't brake tremendously well. So last lap with a 2:15.014. Mr. Suswillow still holds the fastest lap of the race. We've come through that bend a bit quicker, a bit better. Just got a slide on there, we need control. Mr. Fraga next in our sights in what looks like the original Supra. Mr. Gallo is out front, of course. Just clipped that apex and hit the outside one and scrubbed our speed, which doesn't help, but let's get it on. We're still up on our personal best. We were too narrow on the entry to run the speed. That's to lift twice, 3 times, hit the wall. Got the Porsche behind us. We're just going to block him a wee bit. And then he's going to try and dive bomb us on the entry. We know that. We're going to brake at the 150 this time. Let's get the inside of Mr. Fraga if we can. We can't. And if this doesn't work, folks, I'm going to start to knock off the assists. But I don't know how well we'll do. We've got the draft off Mr. Fraga now. We're 13.8 seconds back. Nobody's gone to the pits yet. This will be a faster lap, we hope. A 2:15.5, so we lost time coming through there. That was waiting for Fraga going through that final corner. So let's see if we can get down into the 14s this time round. And we've got 2 laps of fuel left, which will be tremendous. Then we must take 6 laps of fuel when we pits. My word, we were quick into there. We got the power on. Mr. Hizal in the Subaru 22B. Well, we get a new Subaru today with a new update. Can we go up his outside? Is he going to leave us room? He's not. He's going to close that door. We get him under brake in there. Third gear to check the car up, but we've got past him. And we're quicker. We need to find a quick way through these S's. We've been lacking this last couple of laps. We've been losing time on this last sector. That felt better. No bumps off any walls. We're into third place, 13.5 seconds behind. Coming round to the end of lap 5. We're going to brake on the 160. Just chattering the gears in first for this last double apex. Back on the power. Mr. Suswillow is the target. Now 1.25 seconds up, so this will drop us into the 214s. Mr. Gallo's gone to the pits. We've got 1 lap to go on our fuel. We will follow Mr. Suswillow round, I would expect. Mr. Gallo's dropping back, so there's a 2:13.8. That's pretty good. It's not brilliant, but it's. We need another 3/4 of a second, which we won't get this time round because ultimately we're going to go in and pit. Just got up to 7th there, but I don't think we're going to benefit from the 7th. Brake on the end of those dotted white lines, down to 3rd I think. 4th didn't feel right, but catching up on Mr. Suswillow by the looks of it. We're taking time out of him, but I don't think this will be quick. We're 0.3 down. Mr. Suswillow, come on, don't want to hit your back end. My acceleration was restricted by him there. We're going to go to the pits. We're only half a second back, but 4.5 seconds in front of Mr. Fraga. I'm hoping we're all going to pit. It won't be good if they carry on. No, we're going into the pits, they're not, so they've got to pit at some point. We're not changing tyres, but we're going to fuel all the way to 6 laps. And we need to try and beat Mr. Gallo out. Mr. Beauvoir's pitted, Mr. Grady's pitted. Mr. Gallo's gone past us. So we're taking 6 laps of fuel. It's almost a full tank. I think that was. We're in 10th place. 7 seconds back to Mr. Konomos. So this is going to be 10 places we need to make up in the second half of the race. It's going to be 11 places we need to make up. Not changing up to 7th. We've got all the fuel on board again. Mr. Konomos is just slightly getting in our way. He is a little bit slow for pace, so let's give him a squeeze. It might compromise our line in here. We did alright, we kept 5th gear in. So Mr. Fraga and Mr. Suswillow went to the pits. They're taking fuel. I wonder if we're going to get past them. We're still in 10th place. We're 17 seconds down. And it looks like we're going to have to overtake those two guys on the road. We've just made 2 places due to the pit stops. And we've got the opportunity to get past Cookabun and Blazen here. 7th gear, get the draft. I'm going to go between them, try and take any draft that I can. Mr. Hizal in front. So Mr. Hizal and Mr. Suswillow, if we can just make progress. We're up to 5th. We're feeling groovy. Got plenty of fuel by the looks of it, so we don't need to worry about that. We're 19 seconds down on Gallo, so we need to make progress, see if we can catch him. Suswillow looks like we're going to be able to just do the same squeeze on him as we did on Konomos. Up to 4th. That's 6 places on this lap already. Fraga and Yamanaka. And then we've got to get time on Mr. Gallo, and I don't know how we're going to catch those 20 seconds. He needs to pit or something. He needs to be on a 2 stopper. We're only stopping once. He's got to stop once more if we're going to make these inroads. But let's see where we are on time. Stopping on the 150. I think we're going to push it deeper. We're going to try slide in the car. So if you've got questions about we using help aids, well, ultimately folks, the help aids are there to help, and they don't slow you down if you use them right, if you use them in the right way. So this circuit's wet, and ultimately we've got a lack of grip, so we're using the help aids to give us that grip we lose. 2:13.090, so we're 0.01 off the fastest lap, so that could be with us very shortly if we get this lap right. I'm not going to change up to 7th. I don't think we're going to benefit from 7th gear. We're still gaining speed, might touch 180. We're 18.6 seconds off the lead. Slowing down as late as we can, diving deep into the apex of the corner. Third gear early, get the charge on. Our fuel level is depleting, so we are getting lighter. We should be able to put in faster laps. Tyre grip is really great still. We haven't suffered a massive amount of wear. We're 0.1 down on our lap time, target time. Let's see if we can beat that time. We'll have a better line through the next corner, because we're not overtaking. There we go. We're hoping to be close on this time sector now. We're up. Let's see if we can match speed through this final sector. Felt like I had to lift twice there. But we'll know as we come out of this final corner whether we're on for the fastest lap of the race. We're not too deep, which is great. The car turns well on braking, so it will still turn in. Let's see if we're purple. We're purple by almost a second, so that puts this in a 2:12 range. And if we're Gallo's gone to the pits and he's only 16 seconds ahead. Let's see if we've got this. He's taking fuel. He's not taking fuel now, so he's coming out. There is, where is he? There he is. So we put a 2:12.4 in. We have got 10, 11 and 12. 3 laps to go. We've got plenty of fuel. I'm going to go for 7th and see if I can benefit from Yamanaka's slipstream. We're 2.5 seconds ahead of Gallo. Fraga's just beaten the fastest lap with a 2:11.410. So we didn't hold that for very long, folks. In fact, I don't think we held it at all. So we've got to overtake these boys on the road. This is going to be one hell of a race to the finish. Used a bit of brake on entry. We're purple, well we're not, we're blue on ours, so potential fastest lap. We're going to take the tighter line. It's an overtake. We had a little scrub as we went past him. I don't know if that counts as a hit. We just scrubbed the wall. We're in second, so just a guy in front to overtake. We got 2 and a bit laps to do it. We just lost a bit of time through that sector. So even before this race is finished, I can tell you that this is not a fast car. It feels it. It's very controllable, and I'm on a wheel. So there is a potential set for a controller setting, because this was supplied to me as a controller setup and I've fettled with it and made it work better for me as a wheel driver. The controller setup was a wall ride setup, so it had no front downforce and I couldn't get it to go into corners. So where are we? 2 laps to go. Mr. Fraga 1.2 seconds ahead. We're 2.56 seconds ahead of Mr. Yamanaka. Mr. Gallo in 4th, Suswillo 5th, Cockburn 6th, Blasen 7th and Hirzal 8th. Just slightly slower than our best. Mr. Yamanaka's gone to the pits, so we are racing Fraga for the win here. We are just outside the slipstream by the looks of it, so we've got to do this on the road, but it's going to be a tremendous race. Now another indicator of a very fast car is a sub 26 lap. I know you can get cars that do 22 and 23 second laps, but they're in the hypercar range. This is a road performance car which sort of sits in this category. Now the Focus is catching Mr. Fraga. Mr. Gallo is just aiming to catch us marginally. So we might be able to give him the wall power, the wall slide problem. We might be able to just, he's touched us, so we might lose the clean race bonus there, but we're into first place. We're going to let him fight with Gallo as Gallo makes his comeback, and then we've got 1 lap to try and improve on the fastest lap. I can't see us doing a 2:10, but could we do a sub 27 would be my question, and I don't think we can at this point. A sub 27 will make it a moderately fast car, but what it does tell us is this is actually capable of winning this race, and it makes a good race of it. 1.2 laps of fuel. We need to see where we are on the start-finish line. We're pulling away from Mr. Fraga. It looks like we're going to have enough fuel to get there. We are. That was a 2:13.6. That was a full second down on where we were. And Mr. Fraga is just catching fractionally. Nothing to be overly concerned about. We're going to get into turn 1 and we're just going to leap away from him because we'll be faster through the corners, even though he holds the fastest lap of the race. See if we can get this right. Find as much throttle as we can for this whole stretch. We've been doing blue sectors on the early parts of the race all the way through, haven't we? We've just not managed to maintain it because we've been compromised at this part of the circuit by cars to overtake every time. But I'm really pleased with how fast she is. And a touch of the wall there, that's going to scrub the speed significantly. That'll stop this being anywhere near the fastest lap. We are purple. There's a potential for the fastest lap of the race now. I didn't expect purple at all. So what that does tell us is this car handles very, very well. With the help aids, I've tapped the wall again. 3.3 seconds ahead. It's a good race, this car. If you're looking to enjoy your grind time, this is a good race to give it a challenge. It'll break up any of your easy racing, that's for sure. It'll give you something to sweat over. And here we go, 0.2, we're 4.6 ahead of Fraga, who's put Suswillow behind him, Cookabun there, and Gallo in 5th, Blasen 6th, Beauvoir 7th, Hazal in 8th, and here we come through the line. No chance of a fastest lap, it's 2:12.6, so it equals our previous fastest best, and the Ford GT17 actually proves to be a pretty decent car to win the race. And there it is, a 2:11, our fastest time was a 27:38. So it doesn't fit into our categorisation of super quick cars, but it's a race winner. No clean race bonus, I don't think. No, we had too many taps. And that's where it is, folks. This race is tough to get those wins in. Only a 4-star ticket, which I'm guessing is going to be an invite. And there we have it. There's the results of the previous race. What you'll see next is I'll put the settings in for the controller setup. So as a controller guide, the race will pan out differently, but it'll be there for you. A massive thank you to Marco for contributing to the site, the channel, and giving us the setup and allowing me to work on it. But also thank you to you all for coming through and watching the video and getting to the end, as always. So thank you, folks. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care. And as promised, folks, a first for the channel, I'm going to give you a controller setup which I'm told is very, very good. It'll allow you to wall ride round the first corner and the second corner, so you just hit the outside corner, run round it, and away you go, and then you'll have to fight it the rest of the way. This is specifically tuned for the controller, so bear with us. First off, comfort hards on the front and sports hards on the rear. Fully customizable suspension, it's the default, so nothing changed there. The active LSD controller with, I believe, just a minor change on the 50, but they are what they are. Downforce on the front, we've got front splitter engaged, we've got sides, we've got a rear low wing, but you've got 120 on the front, 320 on the rear. On the front it's the lowest possible, on the rear it's the highest possible. Fully customizable ECU on 100, ballast on 1, restrictor on 70, fully customizable racing transmission on 330, no nitrous, no turbo, anti-lag system is off, intercooler is racing, we've got the air cleaner racing, silencer and exhaust manifold as racing, racing slotted discs, we've got the brakes balance control, and we've got racing brake pads. We have got a racing clutch and flywheel, bore up installed engine balance tuning, polished ports, titanium and con rods, the pistons, racing crankshaft. We've got the first 4 stages of weight reduction and increased body rigidity. There is one more weight reduction, but we haven't got round to doing that, and that gives us an overall PP, folks, of 600. And that's your controller setup. And again, thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.